Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Lady Leadership Podcast. I'm really excited to have you join me today. Thanks for listening. And so, what I wanted to talk to you about today, and I've had a few people ask me, a couple of listeners ask me about my journey, how I got to where I got to, and how I made it happen. So, today, this episode's called Accidentally in the C-Suite. And the reason that I called it that is, in my career, I kind of really didn't set out to have a big career. I didn't say, oh, when I was 20 years old, I want to be a CIO or a CEO. I just really wanted to get a job and get a job that paid decently and was connected to what I studied. So I studied computer science at university. And so I worked for a retailer on the weekends, and my mum had said to me, maybe they need someone to help them at head office in the IT department. Well, I'm not even sure she said the IT department really, but, maybe they need someone to help them with computers in head office, because I think at that point my parents didn't really know what I was doing with computers. I didn't either. And so I think, so I really, for me, it's just been, what's that job? Mastering that job, what's the next job? And so today I'm going to talk to you about saying yes to opportunity. I'm going to talk to you about being kind of very outcome and delivery focused. I'm going to talk to you about what's that next job, what's the job after that, and how you can kind of focus on those things and build those skills up. And then also talk to you about who have you actually got around you to help you on the way. So let's start with saying yes to opportunity. Now, I think throughout my career, I've always been the one, when someone has come to me with something, could you go and live in India for 3 months and manage our offshore development team? I have said yes, not a problem. Even though I'm just newly married, yes, I'll go and live in India by myself. And so I've been just really sort of focused on, that next step, and just saying yes. One time when I was sort of really kind of heavily pregnant with my second son, I was, running IT for a business unit and for a large retailer, and I was renovating my house as well. And I had a 3-year-old, and the IT team needed a program manager to run another piece of work. We couldn't find anyone that really had capacity to do that. And so I put my hand up. I said I could do it. And, pretty much everyone was a bit shocked. But, and because it was considered a more junior role, and why would I want to do it as well? But I was focused on, what am I going to learn? I was focused on, we need someone to do the job. We need some help. And so that's really kind of how I've tackled my career. I think, when I was contracting, and even when I've not been contracting as well, I would look for work. So I'd actively look for, and particularly when I was contracting, because I'd be like, well, if I can find something else to do, they'll extend my contract. I didn't make up work, but I actively would talk around the organization at what are the next sort of projects that they might be doing, and how could I possibly get involved, and how could I, just help out, and really just sort of saying yes to that. So I have been very outcome and very delivery focused in my career. So I've been very focused on how can we do things well? How can we do things quickly? How, just that, how can we, rather than how can't we? So, and then, just working through with teams, timelines, etc. And just like what's going to be different, and really kind of trying to deliver a really kind of good outcome and a good job. So just really working with those senior leaders, saying, okay, what do we want to do? How do we want to do it? How are we going to make it happen? And I've very much in organizations sort of worked, and if I can't get the answers in one part of the organization, I'll try and go and find the answers somewhere else, and just, also worked sort of hard to influence people and to take things on. So, after that, it's been also, I've just really focused on what's the next job, and then what's the job after that. as well. So as well as focusing on doing my current job to the best of my ability. So where am I wanting to go? And what is the next job that I'd like to be doing? So when I was on the help desk, I then went to working in the policies and procedures department. When I was in the policies procedures department, I then kind of went and worked on a special project to do with warehouse management, where I started to get some sort of business analysis type skills. Then from there, I then went to another part of the business, because that group was part of a larger group. So then I then went into that larger organization, back more doing policies and procedures, but sort of working in a different part. And from there, I went back into sort of business analysis. And from there, I went into project management. And then so it was very much a, what's the next job, what's the job after that, what sort of special projects can I get involved in, etc. I just really was really focused on what are the skills that I'm trying to just identify jobs, identify what skills would I need to do that, how what do I need to learn, how can I practice doing some of that now before I've got the job, how can I put up my hand to say, hey, I'd like to do that. And then I think so it's kind of I have been ambitious, I have had aspirations, I sort of gained those along the way. I really didn't think back when I started on that help desk that I'd end up running IT departments by any stretch of the imagination. Back in those days, they were basically all men and they all sat on a different level. So I really, as well, then created good relationships with people of influence in organizations, and naturally as well. I've had a lot of senior women that I've spent time with. I have sought out mentors. I've sought out mentors in different organizations as well. And so I've always kind of had someone that I can talk to or throw ideas by, etc. I've also decided as well in my career, hey, I'm not going to quite get to where I want to get to here. This is probably not going to happen for me. So I've decided to leave and go and work somewhere else. And I've sort of actively made those decisions. I haven't just sat in an organization hoping that, I'm going to get the role that I want, or hoping that things are going to kind of change there, etc. I've kind of made decisions for myself off the back of that as well. So look, I hope this has been really helpful. All of that work and all of that kind of job after job after job has, ended up me having a really great career that I'm proud of. I've spent, 10 plus years in the C-suite, working for some large organizations, running their IT departments. I've probably spent 15 years working with and around, or 15, 20 years working with and around the C-suite as well. And I've met some fabulous leaders that I've, created really great relationships with. So, I just hope that's helpful. I hope that gives you kind of a couple of tips and hints in regards to your career. I think also you've got to tell people what you want. So you've got to tell people, I'm really interested in this next step. How do you think that, can you see me in that role? Could I have some feedback? How does that look? That type of thing. And so, I've always been actively working on those with leaders in organizations. So yeah, have a great day. Hope that helped. Thanks a lot. Cheers.